first flight, which launches in about a year from now, with the first fully private mission to the International Space Station. And we have 2 more on the books and a 3rd being worked on. So we're really making progress in that regard. The world's first private astronaut crew to fly to orbit for a 10-day mission will live and work on the ISS, will usher in a long-promised era of human spaceflight, commercial human spaceflight. As the industry's only full-service mission provider, Axiom will be responsible for mission planning, astronaut training, life support, medical support, crew provisions, on-orbit operations, and overall mission management. In other words, if you want to go to space, we take care of everything you need. Just give us a call. As the world looks to 2021 with hopes for rejuvenation, I believe what Axiom has in the works will contribute something very significant to that story. We are proud to be a part of the strong Houston community, bringing together diverse talent to set the agenda for the future of commercial space. In closing, I'll just say we're very excited about our new home at the Houston Spaceport. It's the nation's 10th commercially licensed spaceport. The Houston Spaceport is managed and operated by Houston Airport, and so I'd like to take this moment to welcome the Director of Houston Airports, Mario Diaz, for his remarks.
Thank you, Mike. We are looking forward to an incredible partnership, and we are excited about the Axiom Station and what it means to humanity. I want to thank Mayor Turner, and I want to thank our Chief Development Officer for the city, Andy Icken, for their leadership. I also want to acknowledge Bob Harvey and Bob Mitchell, both of whom saw the value in this partnership and worked hard to make it a reality. I also want to acknowledge Brenda Hellier. Brenda, please, with San Jacinto College, who is developing the next generation workforce at Houston Spaceport's Edge Center. I'm also looking forward to further developing our educational opportunities. It's very, very important that we focus on education, not on the theoretical, but on the actual practical, technical aspects of education, and partnership opportunities for the Houston Spaceport. And so with us today, we have Dr. David Alexander of Rice University, who has been with us from day one and has been such a partner in really spreading the word and help us market the spaceport. Dr. Alexander, thank you so much. We also have with us the president of Texas Southern University, Dr. Kenneth Hewitt. Please, Doctor. We are definitely partnering with Texas Southern because we have so many opportunities for the students of Texas Southern. And of course, we have Dr. Ira Blake of the University of Houston Clear Lake. We promised Dr. Blake that we are going to make this happen, and we're so happy to be able to stand here today and say, we've delivered, we need to go further and take it even further beyond today and the amazing announcement that we have. But before I start my remarks, I would also like to take this opportunity to thank my team at the Houston Airport System, especially Arturo Machuca, who is the general manager, not only of Ellington Airport, but now he's got double duty. He's now the general manager of the Houston Spaceport. Arturo, thank you so much. We have Ian Wadsworth, who is our chief commercial officer, who is not here. We have Molly Waits, I think Molly is here, who is our chief our chief of marketing, air service development and communications. Molly, thank you so much. And Janet Schaefer, who is the director of airline affairs and real estate. I can tell you, without them, without their commitment, without their dedication, without the support of the rest of the team at the Houston Airport System, we simply could not have made this happen. And I am so proud and so thankful for their effort. When we first began developing the 400-acre Houston Spaceport, we had a vision of bringing together, a cluster of aviation and aerospace enterprises that would support the future of commercial spaceflight. We wanted an urban center for collaboration and ideation, a place where the brightest minds in the world could work closely together to lead us into the next frontier of space exploration. For the last 2 years, we have been busy building the Houston Spaceport's foundational infrastructure to attract those bright minds. And today we have completed phase one, making 153 acres ready for build-out. Just days ago, vital infrastructure like roads, utilities, communication systems, and access to the airfield were completed. This now allows us to anchor tenants like Axiom to build their headquarters and the facilities that they need to produce the products and services to further explore. And today we are announcing that they will. They will build their corporate headquarters, they will build their operational, they will build their manufacturing and assembly facilities here in Houston to build this next generation, the future of the International Space Station, a commercial International Space Station. Their partnership is a giant leap to us realizing this city's legacy as Space City, and we are not done by a long shot. We believe this will be the catalyst for other enterprises to join this exciting time at Houston Spaceport. There is truly no limit to what can be accomplished, what can be developed at the Houston Airport system. And the future is not only bright, the Houston Spaceport is already at the heart of America's effort to explore space. As we speak, our tenants are already supporting space initiatives. Intuitive Machines, for example, is building the Nova C spacecraft, a nearly 13-foot lunar tall lander that will deliver cargo to the moon as early as the late 2021. We're also developing and testing propulsion systems that will enhance and endeavor our return to the moon. All the while, our official education and training partner, San Jacinto College, is developing the talent for the future. Brenda Hillier, who is here with us today, is a champion of the EDGE Center at the Houston Spaceport, which offers aerospace training and a path to careers in the aerospace industry under the instructors who work at the top of their fields. This will ensure that Axiom Space and other companies can not only recruit the best of the best, but assure that they will remain the best. One last note, we are still in the process of finalizing a memorandum of agreement, and we are looking forward to having that completed shortly and take this and brief the council so that we can get this underway. As I said before, our next speaker saw the value in the Houston Spaceport and Axiom Space partnership. Bob Harvey is the president and chief executive officer of the Greater Houston Partnership. Please help me welcome Bob Harvey. Okay.
Well, Councilmember Cisneros, nice to see you, Mayor. Great. Bob, Mike, Mario, what an exciting day. My name is Bob Harvey. I'm the president and CEO of the Greater Houston Partnership, and we are the regional economic development organization that works every day to not only recruit game-changing companies to Houston, but also to support some really exciting homegrown companies like Axiom Space. I want to first thank Mike and the Axiom Space team for your incredible commitment to Houston and your recognition of the incredible space-focused workforce we have in the Clear Lake area and beyond. Mike, I know you spent most of your career here in Houston, and you know firsthand the strength of Houston's talent base. I also want to congratulate Bob Mitchell of the Bay Area Houston Economic Partnership for being a stalwart champion for this region. And Bob, your leadership in positioning Houston as a leader in commercial space has been remarkable. Today's announcement is a game changer for Houston as we position our region as one of the leading next generation tech hubs in the U.S. and throughout the world. Each person speaking here today has reflected back on Houston's past success in manned spaceflight, and it is a record we should be proud of and continue to build upon through our partnership at NASA and specifically our friends at Johnson Space Center. Just last week, we hosted NASA Administrator Jim Bridenstine for our inaugural State of Space event. And at the event, Jim spoke about the incredible work happening at JSC and said NASA was, I'll quote Jim, fortunate to be in a city like Houston, a city that produces talent, that has an amazing workforce, and a dedication to education and to the STEM fields, close quote. With the development of the Houston Spaceport and the vision of Mayor Turner and Airport System Director Mario Diaz and leaders from JSC and private industry, we're leveraging Houston's many advantages and are focused on the future of aerospace and the potential of what many expect will be a $1 trillion 21st century commercial space economy. And this is not an isolated announcement. For the last several years, leaders across the Houston region have been working to position Houston as a next generation tech hub. We've made incredible progress in these last several years with the development of Rice University's Midtown Innovation District, centered around the ION, the success of the HX Venture Fund, along with the expansion of major tech companies like Microsoft and Google Cloud and AWS. Plus, we just had the announcement just a few weeks ago by one of the founding companies of Silicon Valley, Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, that they were relocating their global headquarters from California. So Axiom Space announcement today builds on that momentum, and I believe it'll be a catalyst not only for the growth in the commercial space sector, but also for advancing Houston, our broader technology and innovation ecosystem. This is a great day for Houston and for the Houston Spaceport. I look forward to standing here with you, Mayor Turner, for many exciting announcements to come. So it's now my pleasure to turn this podium over to my very good friend, Bob Mitchell, President and CEO of the Bay Area Houston Economic Partnership. Bob?
Thank you, Bob. I really appreciate that. Mayor, thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak today. This is a very, very exciting time. Again, my name is Bob Mitchell. I'm the president of the Bay Area Houston Economic Partnership, an economic development organization just in Southeast Houston, right across the street from the NASA Johnson Space Center. On behalf of our board and 260 member companies, I'd like to be among the very first to congratulate you, Mike, and your whole team at Axiom Space. This is a great day for your company. It's terrific seeing all your hard work culminating in the announcement today. We also want to congratulate our friends at the Houston Airport System, the Houston City Council, Mayor Sylvester Turner, for the innovative vision you are now implementing at the Houston Spaceport. The Spaceport was established in 2015, and it is so nice to see that the deliberate strategic steps taken back then to conceive and develop Houston's new bold achievement are coming to fruition now, with an ever-increasing momentum of aerospace activity. This energy is already apparent. The Spaceport campus, between strong industry partners, its world-class training and academic providers, and its far-sighted community investors are bearing fruit and will only get stronger. For 45 years now, the Bay Area Houston Economic Partnership has worked very closely with the aerospace community in Houston to help the very important industry cluster continue to be successful. We watched with pride as the International Space Station was built in space, and we still marvel at all the great medical research that is being conducted in zero-G environment today. Axiom Space is now taking all those great accomplishments and taking it to the next level in Axiom Station. We're excited and proud today as ever and can't wait to see this new beautiful Axiom Space Complex come out of the ground at the Houston Spaceport. Mike, I remember a few years ago, you and I were sitting next to each other in Washington, D.C. testifying before the Senate Committee of Science on the importance of maintaining the ISS and making sure that they continue to stay funded through 2024. And here we are today with this wonderful announcement about Axiom Station. Mike, I think the best is yet to come. Congratulations again, and Godspeed with your plans moving forward. Mayor?
Look, thank you to all of you. As I close, I certainly want to acknowledge Councilmember Carla Cisneros. I kind of figured she would be here with her emphasis on education and with all of these outstanding colleges and universities being here. I want Houstonians, especially our youngest, to know that these opportunities will impact generations to come. And in just a few years, when the Axiom Station is in Earth's low orbit, you will be able to look up and know that a space station built in Houston by Houston professionals is circling the Earth. All I want for Christmas is Axiom Space Station right here in the city of Houston, and that wish has come true. So what an exciting time to be in the city of Houston. And at this point, you can direct your questions to any of these persons up here, if you have any.
Yes, Mayor. I have some questions from the Chronicle. Is Axiom receiving incentive money from the city?
No.
Okay. When could City Council approve this?
As soon as they get it to me, it'll be on City Council probably the next week, you know. But I would say fairly soon. Fairly soon. Yeah.
And last one is, how much will it cost to build a new headquarters?
Who wants to take that? You two want to come in?
Yeah, we can maybe tag team on it.
You know, what I would say is that we are Axiom Space is really thinking about doing the layout for this facility. We've just reached agreement in principle on the terms. It's 14 acres. I think Axiom now needs to bring in the architects, start to lay it out, and to figure out how much of office space, how much of high bay hangar. I can tell you it's 14 acres, and I think all the square footage as calculated is about 386,000 square feet. So this is a sizable facility. But I don't know, and maybe, Mike, you might want to add some details to this, but I don't know that we're far along enough in the conceptual design to really be speaking to those.
Yeah, that's why we're struggling a little bit. We have talked about what it can do. It'll have a very large high bay area, kind of unique in Houston, so that these modules can be brought in. They can be raised and moved around and turned around and allow us to manufacture. There's a number of manufacturing areas that will be added. There'll be a mid-bay area. We'll have a hangar for training jets, for private aircraft. We'll have a tarmac for very large transport aircraft. Of course, there'll be a facility to house about 100 employees and a number of other support structures that'll be necessary for the team. So we're, as Mario said, we're really still sorting out with the developer what the design exactly looks like and accommodates, and then after that we'll be able to talk about what the cost would be.
All right, any other questions? Yes, sir.
Hey there, Bill Waddell from AccuWeather. When folks hear about a spaceport in Houston, and this is a question for you, for Axiom, in the future, a couple of years from now, people hear a spaceport, is the hopes that there will be some form of launches, right here in Houston? And also just tell us about the focus for the important research up there. What can be done and researched up in space that really can't be done here on the ground?
So Mario can talk about launches from here. Right now, our plan is to launch our spacecraft we can launch on a variety of vehicles, but we envision them launching from Florida. The likely contenders will be launched out of Florida. The future of what Ellington can support is something Mario can deal with. From a science and research and manufacturing standpoint, it's a bit of a dissertation to talk about all that and how we do it, but there's a number of business streams, some that are today are viable, others that are viable 5 years from now, and then others are viable 20 years from now. But research will always be there. Manufacturing will probably be the biggest thing in 15 years. We'll all look back and look at what's going on orbit relative to manufacturing. We expect to be building purpose-built modules for companies who are building, when you're manufacturing something, you can't really be on a platform that's serving people and other things. So we expect a lot of infrastructure that needs to be built to support them uniquely, which is part of our charter of what we do. So very near term, you're going to see a lot of work going on in research, flight opportunities for private astronauts in countries that today want to collaborate with the United States but really can't because they can't get access to ISS, which we can provide. And then over time, you'll see the business, those businesses will grow, but we see that manufacturing will probably be one of the largest areas that we'll be serving as time goes by. I hope that kind of describes it.
So as to the type of launches that we can have at the Houston Spaceport, there are three categories of launches. Let me start with the first, Category X. And this is the type of launch into space where you have an aircraft that is able to travel in space, but it's got two types of propulsion systems. It's got the traditional turbines to take it up to a certain height, and then you have the rockets that kick in because after a certain amount of altitude, you run out of oxygen. So that's the first type. Yes, we can handle those type of spacecraft, aircraft, and we look forward to that. Then there's what we call Category Y, and these are the vertical launch. And all I can say is we want to assure the people of Houston, especially in Clear Lake, that you won't ever be sitting at your table at 9 o'clock in the morning trying to have a cup of coffee when a Falcon 9 takes off. When those 9 Merlin engines kick in, you will be rattling in your home. We're not going to have those kinds. And then the third is the stratolauncher approach. This is a carrier that has slung under it a spacecraft that will be going into space. It's taken up kind of like the Bell 10 or the X1, where it goes up to maybe 40, 50,000 square feet, 40, 50,000 feet in the air, and simply gets dropped, the engines kick in, it goes into suborbital space.
I was going to say the future is going to be hypersonic and supersonic travel. And that is one of the, we got projects like that right now that we're working on, building the type of aircraft that'll go from Houston to New York in 30 minutes, from Houston to England in an hour and 10 minutes. Those are the type of, other types of launches that we're going to have here. Thank you.
Okay, let me just close by saying this. I'm excited by many things. I am certainly excited about the collaboration that will be taking place with our colleges and universities, community college, between San Jacinto, Texas Southern, University of Houston, Clear Lake, Rice University. The collaboration that's going to be taking place at Ellington Field is exciting. And so that's number one. Number two, and let me go specifically to, I think the Houston Chronicle editorial had an editorial in the last week about training the workforce right here in the city of Houston. Well, that's exactly what we are addressing. We are training the workforce right here in the city of Houston so that we don't have to import. We're training the students right here for the future opportunities that we are creating right here in the city of Houston. And then the other thing that I want to focus on, and Bob Harvey touched on it, the ecosystem that we have been building with startups, technology, innovation. This simply adds to it. And so it's all coming in alignment to what we all have been working on for years. This just takes it to another level. And then lastly, we're focusing on Axiom, but what we've been also talking about is what will Axiom becomes like an anchor tenant at Ellington Field, and the other businesses that will be initiated because of Axiom's presence. And when you're talking about 400 plus acres at Ellington Field, what's taking place here, intuitive machines, when you add the creation of more than 1,000 jobs, the other businesses that will be spurred along, that will help to further build out this ecosystem at Ellington Field. So this is just, in a sense, this is just the beginning. It's good news, especially in a very challenging year. And what it demonstrates is that in this city, working directly with the business community, we are creating the atmosphere and the right environment such that as we come out of the pandemic, we will be, we use this expression, we will take off. In the city of Houston. And you start that preparation even when you're in the midst of this pandemic. So what an exciting way to end, council member, to end our year. So let me thank the Greater Houston Partnership. Let me thank the Bay Area Economic Council. Let me thank Mario and his entire team, Houston Airport System. Of course, let me thank Axiom and all of those affiliated with what's taking place there. And of course, I can't do anything without the council members and their support. But this is a good day in the city of Houston. And let me just close by saying on another note, the numbers, just to give me the number, let me give you the numbers today, 343 people who have contracted the virus in the city of Houston, which when you look at the other numbers, and it's something when you can almost rejoice on 343. And then only adding one person, and that's one person too many, but one person who has died as a result of COVID-19. So let me remind people as we move forward, be very mindful of your behavior. I'm asking you to join with all of us to work together to to blunt the progression of this virus, and then to work to start moving it down. And if we can do it even in the holiday season, that means even brighter days ahead. So let me just ask you to join with the rest of us. But at the same time, let me thank Houstonians across the board, individual, businesses and all, who have done what we have asked you to do. And because of that, our numbers are not as bad as what's reported across the country. It's still not where we want them to be, but I certainly want to thank Houstonians for responding. As you do your final days of shopping, and I'm not telling people not to go to the stores, I'm simply saying just do it safely, okay? And avoid the large, if you go into a store and it's crowded, just back up, find another store. I went out the other day. One of the stores was a little bit crowded. I kind of backed out, went to another store, got a better deal, So patience is a virtue, okay? And if you do it safely, I think you'll be rewarded, okay? So just be safe and be responsible. Having said that, enjoy your holidays, and then we'll work together to see you on the other side of the year. Mary? Okay, well, let me excuse everybody, and I won't hold you on this. And did y'all need a Spanish translation on any of this?
Yeah, he said we're going to do it after, right?
Oh, okay, because I was going to just give you a paragraph or two, but I'll defer to Arturo, okay? All right, is there a question on COVID-related?
Yes, Mayor, the COVID restrictions implemented in South Texas, like Galveston County, can that later apply to Houston?
I think it's based on when it reaches a certain level that there's a pause in the rollout that the governor put forth. We haven't met that element right now in Houston, Harris County. That's why we are urging people to be mindful that everyone can participate in blunting the progression. But yeah, I mean, if we reach a certain matrix, then it certainly could apply. I don't think we're there now. During the summer, for example, I would tell you we had more than 2,400 people in our hospitals because of COVID-19. As of this morning, for example, that number is a little over 1,400, so we're about 1,000 below where we were during the summer. But we don't want it to go much, we don't want it to go higher. We want to blunt it, and then we want those numbers to start coming down. We want the positivity rate to come down. We're at 11.2. I would love for us next week to report that we're at 10%, and then starting to move down. So the reproduction rate, the number, right as of this morning, that number was like 1.07. It needs to be below 1. So there are a number of elements that we need to bring down, and it's going to take us all working together to do that. So we're not at that point as the other counties, but at the same time, we're not that far away either.
And the last one is, do you know when your number will be called to get the vaccine?
Well, I hope they call my number soon because I'm ready. I meet some of the requirements. I suspect it could be probably within a week or so. It's what I anticipate. Dr. Purse and Director Williams have already alerted me that my number and time is coming up. And what I've said to them is that when they say it is my turn, I intend to do it very publicly because I've run into many people, even friends of mine, who have said that they are reluctant to take it, and especially in communities of color. It is important for people to take it. It benefits everyone. So I suspect I will be taking it probably sometime next week is what I anticipate. Okay? And I'll do it, if I could do it here, I'd do it right here, That's fine. Mary said when for me, she said I need to take a double dose. I want them to hit me in both arms, okay? That's how much I want to encourage people to take it. Arturo, if you'll just come in and I think they want you to cover the Axiom announcement and speak about it in Spanish. And I want you to know I got my Spanish tutor, so if you miss anything, I'm gonna catch you.
Muy buenas tardes, bienvenidos. Primero que nada, aprovecho esta oportunidad para agradecer a las universidades que están aquí representadas, para agradecer al alcalde de la ciudad de Houston, al director del el sistema de aeropuertos de Houston y a todos los que nos acompañan. Es un placer. El anuncio que acabamos de hacer es de un mayor impacto para la ciudad de Houston. La compañía Axiom acaba de anunciar que la estación comercial espacial será construida en su totalidad en la ciudad de Houston, específicamente en el puerto espacial de Houston o el Houston Spaceport. Esto se dice fácil, pero es sin duda un acontecimiento de gran relevancia. Ellos van a traer 1,000 empleos a la ciudad de Houston, que van a ser empleos de alta paga y van a beneficiar a todos los integrantes, a todos los habitantes de la ciudad de Houston. No podríamos estar más excitados por eso que está pasando ahora. El puerto espacial de Houston sigue progresando. Solamente en diciembre 18 terminamos la construcción. Hicimos una inversión de $21 millones para construir toda la infraestructura que permite que compañías como Axiom y otras compañías vengan a llevar y hacer sus negocios en la ciudad de Houston, de nuevo con un impacto directo en la gente que vive en esta ciudad. Algo que tengo que agregar es también que todas estas compañías de aeroespacio y de aviación requerirán de empleos con talento, y es por eso que el día de hoy ustedes están viendo aquí una presencia de las universidades. Ellos son el elemento clave que nos va a permitir entrenar a la juventud de Houston para que se queden en Houston, para que vivan en Houston y para que sigan apoyando el desarrollo de esta ciudad. No podría dejar también de observar que San Jacinto College empezó esto efectivamente ya hace un año. Por el momento, San Jacinto College ha creado un programa al que los estudiantes de la ciudad de Houston pueden acceder ya en este momento. El programa está siendo ofrecido por San Jacinto College, y estudiantes que estén interesados en aprender más o trabajar en aeroespacio, en aviación, solo lo que tienen que hacer es consultar a San Jacinto para trabajar en esto. Todas las demás universidades, por supuesto, están también trabajando con nosotros para crear los ingenieros y el talento que es necesario para apoyar a compañías como Axiom. Muchas gracias y muy buenas tardes.
And what Arturo said, this is an exciting announcement in the city of Houston that will transform the city for the best. He mentioned all of those colleges and universities and just said the best is yet to come in 2021. That's what he said in an abbreviated version. All right, so we're going to take some quick pictures. Come on.